Tell me a little bit about what you feel as a professional musician that goes into a good bow.
First thing I usually look for is for the bow to be, as I said, perfectly balanced. In essence, it would play itself. You can just put it on the string, and you can start at the frog, and to the very tip, the amount of sound doesn't change. You don't feel like you have to compensate for the fact that you're away from your heaviest part of the bow. You're going to the tip. You don't need to press to sustain the same type of sound. That's where the perfect balance comes in.
For me, the most important thing is how the bow hair has a sort of sticky sensation, a sort of friction with the string, and it never sort of wants to leave the string. A good bow would help you do a fantastic legato by itself.
At first touch, which can always and often be very deceiving because of the way that the bows are balanced, you can pick up a bow and think, wow, this is a really light bow. But it could be that it's just balanced so perfectly that you don't feel an amount of weight at the frog, or you don't feel it overbalanced to the tip.
But after trying out sound quality of the bow, I'd also try maybe spiccatos, because they're a major part in trying, and your bow has to be able to do good spiccatos. So I play.
You know, we can talk about sound, we can talk about balance, we can talk about balance, but the most important thing for a bow is about its playability and whether a player is comfortable playing with the bow, whether it's easy to play.
As somebody with quite thick fingers and quite a thick hand, I want to feel like I can grip something and not be afraid that it'll break in my arms. Being quite thin at the very frog, it would probably have to thicken up as it goes away from the frog, just to keep the weight of the stick within a parameter.
Whenever I see my professors or my fellow colleagues and musicians, they always have 2 to 3, even 4 bows in their case. But I think most of us usually use one main bow, and then the other bow could be a contrasting bow, which could be a lighter bow, it could be a heavier bow, where you use for specific pieces if you want to create a certain sound or want to do a certain technique that helps you play the piece that you want to play. So some pieces requires, let's say, more spiccato or more ricochet, and then there might be bows that would work better for that. And so I do know of people who have multiple bows for different effects.
Much like on a car, you can have the engine of the car in the instrument, but the tires, the performance is the bow. So the car can perform very differently with different sets of tires, and similarly a violin can sound dramatically different with 2 different bows. So each person is different. The weight of their arm, the amount of pressure that they exert on the violin, all of that goes into configuration, and it goes into thinking about and picking out the bow that works for that player.
Thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed our invited guests who actually can share their important knowledge towards how they should choose a bow. On the 25th of March 2015, we are going to have our 2nd annual podium, and then this year we are going to talk all about bows. And our invited guests this year will be Mr. Yang Qin from New York and Miss Qian Zhou from Singapore. TMX Podium, or also known as Tong Ming Xi Podium, is an annual event where we organize to celebrate the knowledge and experience, and we want to aspire musicians into greater heights. The first year was violins, and the second year, which is going to be this year, we're going to work on bows. So at this event, Mr. Yang Qin will bring together a couple of important bows, and Miss Qian Zhou will actually perform on this bow and show us how these different bows would behave and respond to different actions. Hope to see you there.